Greetings, family. Let the circle be unbroken. Peace and blessings to all living things and beings. I had something on my mind, and as you guys know, I like to come to the community with these kind of thoughts and stuff so we can chop it up and have a discussion about it in the circle as a community. As a cyber community. Yes, we still are, right? Whether we're in person physically or online looking at each other, we're still a community. Hey, Saladine and Deneen. Peace and blessings, family. Is the gap between us as a unit, as a people, as the woman and the man, as the yin and the yang, is it widening? I question that because, you know, as I stroll through and read comments and listen to rhetoric and watch videos and seeing all this, you know, all the conversing that's been going on out there in the ethers as it relates to relationships, as it relates to us. And I see not all, but a lot of hostility. Let me know if you guys are sharing in that same kind of sentiment. If you seeing anything different, I'm seeing a lot of hostility. Hey, Jessica, Vincent. And I just wanted to talk about that because it seems to me that we don't really talk about it. We accuse, we blame, we point the finger, we shame one another. We try to rip into each other like we're not the second half of the other. You know, I think we forget that we like on the same team. It becomes almost like a war, a gender war, a fight, a battle amongst your own ranks. And what is that about? Why do we do that to each other? Why do we feel like we can tear the other down and we remain whole? Why do we really think that we are not connected? You know, it's like a battle. It's a battle against it. I just wanted to talk about that and get into that more deeper as to why we do that with one another. You know? There's my trusted bumblebee. They love coming around and, you know, they think they're going to run me off my own space, but I beg to differ. But anyway, anybody else seeing that, feeling that, in agreements with that, disagree, you see something different, talk to me, family. I love for these conversations to be reciprocity, the give and the take, because it's just that energy, that energetic. I need that, you know. Saladin, I think we're being separated by divine will. Water and oil doesn't mix. I'm relating to the black man and the black woman. Saladin, are we on the same page? You thinking that we are being separated by divine will? Is that? Let me know. I see a lot of the blame game. You know, I see it's like no one wants to take self-accountability and take personal responsibility. And you know, when you can't be in a relationship alone. You know what I'm saying? That's not a relationship. You know, you are relating one thing to another, and so that it takes two. And so I think that nobody really, I shouldn't say nobody, you know, a lot of what I see is that many of us are unwilling to really take that trip down the lane with the mirrors, with the halls of mirrors, the fun mirrors, and what they call it at the carnival and stuff, where everywhere you turn, the only face you see is you staring back at you. I think something about that scares us half to death. And so we don't do it. And the easier route to take is to focus and center all the attention on the other person, what they're not doing right, and what they need to change, and what they need to fix. The blame game, without really taking the courage to look within to say, how am I adding to what's going on right here that I am a part of, that I have attracted, that my spirit and soul has been attracted to, you know? I answered that out of context, my bad. I thought so, Solomon, because you and I are usually right here, you and I, you know, and so, yeah, I'm talking about us, you know, together, black man, black woman, and the challenges we find ourselves in getting along, you know, and then, and when we don't, how much pain is inflicted on one another. You know, it's almost like we get a rise and a rush out of tearing each other down. And accountability, Zay, is missing today, no doubt. And I'm glad you pointed that out, that word today, because it's a good point. Because when I look back at a lot of the old scholars and the leaders in the community and the ones that others looked up to, you know, the popular influencers of back in the day, and I sit and I watch a lot of their lectures or a lot of their communications and how they, you know, they're back and forth, even when they were in disagreements. A lot of times I didn't see all this. I didn't see them looking to destroy the other, you know, and not just in male-female relationships, but in just in peer-to-peer as well, in general, you know. So I agree with you. I think this is like a newfound scenario. I don't know if the internet kind of added to all this, to where the connection is not the same, because we're not, a lot of times we're dealing over computers, and we're trying to have conversations via text, or, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if that, y'all let me know if that has anything to do with the seemingly disconnect that I'm seeing. And then, you know, to where if somebody doesn't share the same sentiment you do, maybe you in a disagreements with something they saying or how they saying it, and instead of, you know, respectfully disagreeing, you got to go for the jugular. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you got to come out of your own character and tear that other person down because they're saying some things that you don't agree with. And so what is that about? What is that about? I think that's a level of dysfunction that we find ourselves like allowing to become the norm. You know, like normal ways of communicating. You know, I say something on somebody's page and somebody come back and say, shut the F up. You don't know what you talking about. Get the F away from me. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. I'm like, good God, just because I don't agree with you? You know, and the interesting thing about that is them same individuals, if you were right in their face, they wouldn't dare come out their mouths and say those things to you, to your face. They just wouldn't. And so for me, it becomes like cowardly. Now you're revealing some cowardice about yourself, that you can gain some type of, you could beat your chest by saying that you didn't attempted to tear somebody else down on social media because you didn't agree with what they had to say. Think about that, family. That's a level of insanity. And so is the division getting wider? I asked the question. Zay, nobody is teaching the way we were taught. There is no discipline. no self-discipline. Again, it's like we want everybody else to be the disciplined one except for us. We could do whatever. We could wild out, we could go off, we could tear down, we could rip apart. We could do that, but we expect everybody else to be something different. It's just interesting. It's just a fascinating thing I find, and I think that we don't really take the time to consider these things consciously, because it just becomes another normal way of life. And after a while, you find yourself basking in glee and dysfunction. Now this dysfunction becomes your source of entertainment. So what does that do to the spirit? You know, how does that become helpful, progressive, inspirational, forward thinking, all those things that turn good into great? If you're doing the very thing that destroys, then who are you rolling with? Real talk, family. That's real talk. We compete against each other. You know, we compete against each other. I really had to block this brother. Didn't want to, you know, on my page today. And this is kind of one of the reasons why I jumped on too, because not just him, but just I'm recognizing the pattern. And to where, you know, I didn't agree with something he said. And so he went on every last one of my posts, like the last 7 or 8 posts, and spitted out something real negative and derogatory. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is this? Wow, just because I didn't, you know, and I respectfully, humbly, y'all know me, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to respectfully, humbly disagree with you. And he didn't like that. He didn't like that I didn't agree with his point of view. And so he made it a mission to attempt to, I guess, get under my skin by ripping and tearing down anything I had to say. And I'm like, wow, what is this about? And so I went in his message box and I told the brother what I was going to do. You know, I plan to remove you from my space because, you know, the energy I'm looking for a more positive and uplifting build and exchange on these platforms. And I'm sorry that if you know, we're not operating in the same field and you feel differently. But I'm not gonna allow somebody to just disrespect me, you know, constantly and continually to get their own rocks off. I have a choice in that too. So, and I told him, and you know, and I wished him well, you know, and I told him what I was going to do. But just you know, just those kind of things. Like, what's that about? All that energy. All that energy being directed to destruction against one another. We supposed to be on the same team, right? Are we? Do you see me as your enemy? Do you hate me because I don't think and behave the same way you do? Understanding is key. Common sense is truly missing. That's a lot. That's a deep one to go into Tuesday. I agree with you again. It really is, and my mind goes to why. Why is the common sense missing? Why do we find ourselves in this energetic place? Why? What has happened to us? Saladin said, I don't think it's necessary based on male and female disagreements. Even though we have plenty of disagreements nowadays, I think it's based on the different levels of consciousness. With no respect, let me get you in. with no respect for the other. Community dysfunction is based upon black hate in the absence of knowledge of divine self. The resurrection of the mental dead is automatically being separated from those who oppose conscious knowledge. We are now living in the days of separation, said the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. The wheat from the tare, huh? The wheat from the tare. Yeah, it's a painful thing to deal, because we all going through it. You know, even the ones who think they can stick their head in the sand and just smile and no worries and be happy and all be good. You know, you're still going through the same emotions everybody else. That energy field goes through all of us. We're all energetic fields. And so it doesn't stop and go around you. So what we do is we get into this pretend mode. It's really a protection. It's a form of self-protection. And so we think we can just block ourselves from all the things that's going on in the world, despite the fact that we're in the world. You know, and so we don't address it. And the fact that because enough of us don't address it, the matters get worse. because it's a full circle, and it's a yin and a yang, and you can't escape. We're all on this earthly plane together. You know, where you going? This is home. So yeah. So if my house burned down and you live right next door, you're gonna feel the fire. No doubt. That's just natural law. So anyway, that's a whole nother conversation story. How my sister Dr. Mumbi would say, stories for other days. Let me get through. Hey Richard. Yeah, Saladin says that he believes this is all divine order, divine intent, and I agree. You know, I agree. I also feel that we control what that divine order and intent is. You know, and so we have the power to shape shift however we want. We have free will. That was our gift from birth. Free will. So we have the will to do whatever it is that we want. That's what happens when you see people change. You know what I'm saying? People all of a sudden do a 360 in midlife or something. You know, maybe they were strung out, you know, half their life, and you know it just turmoil and trouble, and next thing you know, you ain't seen them in a while. You see them again, and they did a total 360. They're clean, and they're working, and they even look differently physically, and you know what I'm saying, maintaining themselves, and say, yeah, why? Because you know, we have that power, the power of the mind, to shape and shift our world to be whatever we want it to be. That's real talk. So yes, I believe that all of this is divine intention, but I believe that our will is moving the boat. You know, our will determines which way we go. That's why I never like the conversations that go like, oh, they're not gonna never let us do that. Talking about the powers that be, or they gonna destroy us, or this, it's gonna be this and it's gonna be that. And I'm like, well, you know, it don't have to be. You know, we don't have to be. It's going to food shortage. They're going to starve all of us out. All that kind of rhetoric. I don't like it. I see what's going on. I know what's going on, and I see that, you know. But I understand what the power we have. You know, I understand it better than a lot of other people. That we control the outcome. Many of us don't believe that, and so that's why we talk like that, and we have this oh well, there's nothing I can do about it attitude about the situation, because we don't recognize and understand the power we have. You know, that whenever we get ready as a unified force, we can change whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? It'd be nothing. It'd be like plucking an ant off your shirt. Oh, there's an ant. Let me get it off and go on about your day. And that's how we can handle our enemies. But we got to first recognize who we are and know what we're capable of. And we don't. And we don't on a mass scale. And so it's like you and I, you know, a trickle of us who have that kind of understanding, you know, like my father would say, you put 5 hands up and you slap somebody, you might hurt them. You might just bruise them, or, you know what I'm saying? You're going to hurt them a little bit. But you take them same 5 fingers, I'm sorry, I said hands, fingers. You should take them same 5 fingers and you make a fist, and then you hit that person, you might just knock them out for the count. So it's the same concept with us, our unity. This is us right now. We're all divided and separated. And so this way we're not strong. We're not as strong as we need to be in order to knock out our opposer. And so, and that's again goes right back into what I wanted to come and talk about the division between us and how we're fighting amongst one another when we don't even understand how we can't do anything powerful without each other. You might think you can. With the individuality mind state, or I'm good, I can take care of myself, and I don't need no man, and you know, all that stuff. That's not African, family. We're a communal people. We're a collective people. You could say all that we used to be, but now we're not. So, and it's like as if to say that now we're better. We're better off now because we're not unified and we're not, you know what I'm saying, a communal people as we used to be, you know, so it's like, again, it's like I think we get comfortable in dysfunction, and then we start making excuses for remaining there. So if somebody else attempting to pull us out of the dysfunction and at least allowing us to see that, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying, this way ain't been working. You know, we see our families are ripped apart, and, you know, the children in disarray, and, you know what I'm saying, the kids killing each other in the streets in some of these inner cities all over the place, and, you know what I'm saying, you know, all bunch of broken heart, trail of tears and heartache, and all this cheating and warring and fighting and having children by, you know what I'm saying, all these different mamas and fathers, and, you know what I'm saying, all this dysfunction. But yet if somebody is attempting to say, well, wait a minute, there's a different way. You can do this a different way that'll bring a different outcome, and you fight against that. So it's like you become comfortable in dysfunction, and that's unfortunate. Peace, Charles. Yeah, I think a lot of it it reverts back to, again, the unwillingness to really sit with ourselves and really ask the tough questions. How am I contributing? How am I contributing? Instead of always shifting the blame and pointing the finger and, no, because if women would just do it this way. And the ladies, no, if the men would just do it this way. Instead of, you know, attempt to shift your mind in a different direction. Instead of going outside of yourself, look in and think about, what power do I have to change the current dynamics in this relationship or any future relationship? You know, and I find, you know, I based on my observation and based on my 48 years on this earth, you know, and just, you know, being, I pride myself in being a keen observer and paying attention to what's going on around me. I recognize that those who do that, those who take the time to focus in and manage their own affairs and internal affairs and do those kind of things are the ones that gain the most success in their relationships with others. You know? It's the ones that point the finger and shift the blame and always want to accuse the other and, you know what I'm saying, want to tear the other down. And those people are the ones I find to have the most trouble. It's just like a common sense observation. And so for me, I'm gonna learn from those who are doing it right. Who are those around me that I can look at as a model example of having success in their relationships? And let me go and see what they're saying. How do they handle the situation when it arises? You know? So, seek wise counsel, family. Seek wise counsel. We gotta be willing to humble ourselves and be honest with ourselves enough to say, you know what, I don't know. Clearly, I don't know. It ain't working for me. What I've been doing all these years ain't been working for me. And I'm still angry, bitter, mad and upset. Ain't got nothing, you know, no wholesome. I was talking to a girlfriend the other day, and they was saying how they was talking to somebody else, and we're all around the same age. Another one of their girlfriends, and they told them that they never in life experienced being in love. Like true love. Somebody you just loving another person unconditionally and they love you back the same. They had never experienced that in life. I found that heartbreaking. Because it don't have to be, and I don't think we understand that we draw those kind of energies to ourselves. I don't think we understand that. But we don't know who we are because we busy running. We running from the self. And you know you're running because you're busy pointing the finger at somebody else. That's the telltale sign and indication for me. It's like anytime I see it, oh, they running. Yeah, because when those who take the necessary time and energy to focus on bettering themselves, they attract that kind of energy to themselves. They in turn attract that same type of energy because we all elevating and working on an energetic plane. There's levels to this. There's levels to this life. And so, yeah, you don't, you know, it's like, yeah. So when you start becoming more healthier, a more healthier you, then that you attract other people who are becoming a more healthier them. It don't work no other way. And so when you running and you shifting the blame and you pointing the finger outside and looking at other people and zoning in on their faults, you ain't taking the time. Where are you finding the time to go in? So your attention is elsewhere. We attract who we are. That's real talk. Many people don't. You may disagree, you know, from a lack of not understanding the universal law. It's the universal law. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's the universe's laws. That's the yin and the yang. Being honest with ourselves. There's not a single perfect person on earth. Not near one of us. We seek perfection in others. The things that we don't even possess ourselves. And the minute that, you see that with this whole Kevin Samuels scenario. May that brother soul rest in peace. I shared, my 2 cents about that. You know what I'm saying? When I first heard that, my initial thought was, oh, I went straight to his mother. My gosh. Man, that woman had lost her son. That compassion for another human being. Good God Almighty, you know what I'm saying? Has he said things, on his platform that I disagree with? Hell yeah, absolutely. Got under my skin a few times. You know what I'm saying? Has he lived his life in the way in which that I wouldn't be interested in anybody like a Kevin Samuels? I'm just being straight up and frank. You know what I'm saying? But that brother, he was my brother. In all of his ways, in all of our disagreements, he was still my brother at the end of the day. And so again, going back to this thing where we get pleasure in ripping each other apart because we don't disagree. Because we don't agree. That's something not quite, something's off. There's something off with that. When you feel that strongly that you're that deeply in emotion, your emotionalism takes that much control over your being that you're willing to stomp and spit on a man's grave because you didn't like some of the things he said. You didn't like the way he lived his life. That was in the loop is in opposition to how you would. It's not civilized, family. It's not civilized. The light bearers, speaking to you guys for a minute, the light bearers, I know it can get frustrating sometimes when people don't see how you see and get it how you get it. And it's like for you and others who are light bearers, you see clear as day, what needs to be done. And the things that if we only would do it this way, it would just, things would be so much more peaceful for us all. And those who aren't light bearers don't see things your way, and they fight against you, and they call you all kind of names and things like that. And just remind yourself about the calcified pineal gland. That's real, family. It's a physical thing. It's real. You digging into science now and biology, and so people, it's not that they don't want to get it sometimes, it's that they can't. It's that they can't. It's just like, like that you could put a figure on the table and 2 people in the room, and it's an owl, clear as day. It's a figurine of an owl. And you ask the 2 people, what is that on the table? And one say right away, oh, that's an owl. And the other one say, no, it's not. I don't see no owl. And how frustrated that could be. Like, what do you mean? It's an owl, clear as day. We looking at the owl. No, it's not. Y'all fools, y'all dummies, you think that's an owl. And how, what I'm saying? And how frustrating that can be. But just bear in mind that some of it's biology. You really, take a minute if you're not sure. the deeper ramifications of a calcified pineal gland. Look into that a little bit, so you'll have a better understanding. And once you have a better understanding, then it sets your own mind at peace and at rest about the situation. You won't find yourself so frustrated with other people who just can't seem to get it. Can't seem to get it. And it's because they can't. It's because they physically can't. The energy, the same wavelengths and energy frequencies that are moving through your pineal gland, it just don't hit theirs. And so again, I just say that to the light bearers, to just be mindful of that, because that'll bring you some peace. With understanding comes peace. That's real talk. Yeah, I would just say, family, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to be different, to do different, to think different, to step out of your comfort zone, out of the ways in which you're accustomed to reacting to one another and communicating. And you know what I'm saying? If you find yourself, if you're watching this video and I'm saying some things and it's scratching at you, that's because that's something that's a message that you need to receive and get. A lot of times it ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just opening my mouth to speak. Like when you at church sometimes, and the preacher can be preaching. You come out of there and you tell somebody else, it felt like the preacher was preaching right to me. What he was saying sounded like he was preaching right to me. Yeah, he was. That's because he was. That's because whatever the message was that you was receiving, it was for you. And all messages ain't equipped with flowers and roses and feel good moments. Sometimes you need to hear the harsh truth. Sometimes you need to hear the harsh truth about yourself. That's it's in those places and spaces where change occurs. When you can sit in that. Lord knows I know. I bear witness. When you can sit in the harsh truth about yourself and not try to make excuses and not try to deny or not try to brush it off or change the channel, or you know what I'm saying, none of that. Just sit in it and all the emotions that come with it and be like, damn, that is me, and be honest with yourself. It's in those type of moments where change occurs, because they become aha moments. It's when you shift the blame. It's when you block those things. It's when you don't even give yourself an opportunity to change anything, because you're denying. How do you deny? If you're denying truth, how do you expect anything to change? Because you made excuses for it, so you're going on as usual. But it's those harsh realities that if you can just hear something, and when it's true because your spirit tell you. And it's those uncomfortable things that we run from. It's things we really need to hear. That's why things go from bad to worse, because we're not willing to hear it. And so we just go on, and it gets a whole lot worse, as opposed to saying, you know what, damn, that shit hurt. I didn't want to hear that, but I needed to hear it. And you know what, now I have a responsibility, because now I understand better that, there's some things about my character that could be improved upon. And so, let me go on and be the better person and make some changes. Readjust myself for the better. And the people who do, pull your coattail like that, it's only for the better for you. You know what I'm saying? The outcome, it will only be better for you. You want better relationships with the opposite sex? Sit down with yourself for a few minutes every day and reflect upon the things that you could be doing differently in your own life. And you know what else I find? It's a side note. I find that it doesn't serve us, sisters. It doesn't serve us to sit up here and attempt to try to tell men how to live their life and what they need to be doing and the things they doing wrong. Again, go back to self-reflection. You know, men receive that better from other men, the same way we receive it better from other women. We don't like it when a man jump on there. Y'all women need to, all y'all women need to do this and do that. You know how they do. Lump us all in one basket. We do it to each other. You know, oh y'all this and y'all that. You know what I'm saying? A man's talking about what a woman need to do differently. You know, with herself and how we receive that. It's not well received with us. You know, and most often 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get a fight. It's gonna be an all-out war. And so I don't even do it. You know what I'm saying? You know, don't attempt to try to tell men what to do and how to. You just do what you need to do in your life to make your life different. And let the chips fall where they may. I guarantee you, if you do that, I guarantee you your relationships will become better and stronger. Let the men handle the men and let the women handle the women, brothers. You know? We all got issues. I know we all got issues and challenges. You know what I'm saying? But it's best to work on ourselves. It's best to work on ourselves. So I just implore you to challenge yourself, myself included. You know, myself included. I'm not saying anything that I don't practice in my own life. You know what I'm saying? There's tools. There are tools out here that can assist in us moving forward in a more wholesome and healthier existence. A lot of us just don't know how. I think somebody mentioned that upstream. I agree. We don't know how, and know how is knowledge. The first letters in the word knowledge is know. Know how is knowledge. You know, and just getting the proper knowledge. A lot of times we just get our advice from all the wrong people. We out here getting advice from people who don't even have healthy relationships themselves. They're going to tell you how to have a healthy relationship. They don't even have one themselves. That's why I say seek wise counsel. Go to those who you look at, you know, you can look at as, you know, that what you see and what you perceive that they're doing, it's something in their life that you would like for yourself. You know, they have a family and seem healthy. You know, they're working together in harmony, and you know that the children are balanced. You know, and well mannered, and you know things together. They're building an empire together, and of course, ain't nobody's home perfect. You know, sure, even in them situations, you find you get close enough. They got their issues too. But I'm saying overall they're in a better place than you know that you and I may be in. And you desire that for your own life, in your own world, then seek wise counsel. You know, ask questions of them. You know, gain some insight on the things that they are doing that are different than what you're doing. Yeah, man. So there's tools and setting intentions and writing things down, and you know your desires, and just being intentional with what we're doing. Let me get you guys in. Saladin says light bearers see from the heart with understanding, while those holding on to the darkness can't see reality for what it actually is, because their hearts are absent of real love for their own. You always give me something to think about. That's a brother y'all need to follow. You know what I know. So then you always dropping the knowledge. I appreciate you for that too. You know, you never give up on your people, man. Every day. Yeah, man. You're a light in shining armor. A light in shining armor. Yeah, brother. Hey, my nephew's on. Peace and blessings. So yeah, family, again, I don't want to make this long and drawn out. I just, it was pulling on me. And anytime, something's pulling on me like that, I like to obey. I like to obey. So I'm just here speaking out of a strong desire to see us be better. Because we can. We are the most powerful forces in the universe. You got to know that about yourself. We are the most powerful force in the universe. So whatever we set, whatever intentions we set, with honesty and our true intentions, then we'll be. It will be. And so we got to know that. We have that kind of power. You know what I'm saying? We do. And so, and I think, and I see that we can be better. We can be closer. We can be more loving and appreciative of one another despite our flaws, despite our issues. We can go deeper. Of course we can go deeper into why we have these issues, why we deal with things we deal with. For the most part, we have a pretty good level of understanding of why we find ourselves in this predicament as people. And as like I would like to say, a nation within a nation, because I like to speak power over us. We are a nation, we are a nation within a nation, and we have some things some kinks we gotta work out, especially for where we going, where we're heading, because we're going into the bottleneck, and those light seers, you know what I mean. We heading into the bottleneck, and so things are going to get a whole lot more stringent for us over the coming days, and that's only because of the for every action there's a reaction, for every cause there's an effect. So what I'm saying, there's the laws again. So we can expect things to become a whole lot more challenging for us for a time. It's not forever, for a time, but we gonna need each other, family. We gonna need each other. So whatever we need to do to get closer, you know what I'm saying, despite our flaws, we should be working on that, because it's strengthened that. It's strengthened us coming together, the more divided and divisive and hate-filled we are towards one another, the weaker we are as a whole, the weaker we become. And then that means it becomes a lot easier to conquer. A lot easier for our enemies to conquer us because we're weak and divided. So shift that. Let's go the opposite direction. Forgive more, be more understanding, and go in. Go in. Go in. And that's where, fix you. You fix you, and if I fix me, and you fix you, and she fix her, and he fix he, and we go on out that path, we all be fixed. But I can't fix you. You know what I'm saying? I can't force you to do anything. I can encourage. I can advise. I can be a conduit. You know what I'm saying? I can be influence. I can be all those things, but I can't do nothing for you. I can't make you do nothing against your will that you're not wanting to do yourself. You got to be willing to do it yourself. So yeah. All right, family. That's all I got for us this evening. And I hope and I wish and I am setting the intention that we will be a better people for our children's sake. Take care of each other out there. Peace.